We're snorting cap rates and shooting up cash flow here at Deal Junkies. Welcome back to Deal Junkies. I'm Gabe Johansson here in the studio with Trevor Howard, who broke his thumb at 3 a.m. playing basketball after he caught the world's largest fish in the Willamette River and took a bite out of its head. Dane McKinney, who's texting his new girlfriend, and Mike Nuss, who's going to save Salem.
I'm texting Tyler Roth about deals. Tyler's
I met Tyler last night.
Yeah, Tyler's awesome. I think he's kind of a deal junkie.
Tyler.
He's an engineer, but he's working on
AKS.
Yeah, but he's always.
Shout out to AKS.
Hey, they're going to have their, they do a crawfish thing.
Like a boil?
Yeah, and they do it in Portland, Tualatin. They're going to do one in Salem this year.
Who? AKS?
AKS.
They're going to do a crawdad boil?
At Ilhi.
Wow. Aren't they like little lobsters?
Yes. And then, it's like this whole thing with there's corn in there and potatoes and
it's like a tiny little freshwater lobster.
Yeah, you make a big mess and you smash
it. It's like a southern.
It's a social event.
Southern.
It's more about the social than the food.
It's a little southern.
Yeah.
Okay, what are we going to talk about, guys?
I have a problem.
Oh, Trevor has a problem.
I have a problem.
Dane has a problem.
Oh, you can
Gabe
go
and I
first.
already talked about my problem this morning. It's okay. He solved it.
Is it about your girlfriend?
What? No. That's so silly. It's about real estate.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's real estate.
How can Gabe help him with a girlfriend problem?
Oh, I helped him. Don't worry.
Gabe and I's brain. Gabe's brain.
I've made a lot of mistakes in life, so
Gabe and I's
I
brains
can give
work
wisdom.
a lot alike, I think.
What's your problem, Trevor?
Okay. So my problem is, now that we're trying to do bigger deals,
There's not as many.
yeah, we don't get to do very many.
I thought about this last night, actually.
And I'm struggling with it because I really like doing deals.
Yeah, I thought about this.
But now it's like,
Just be a wholesaler.
I
Be a
have the
wholesaler.
answer.
You have all kinds of deal flow.
You have the answer?
Yep, I've thought about it.
Oh.
I thought about it last night. So what I thought about was that you have to get our pipeline for big deals full and have like 2 years out, year and a half out.
Lined up.
Yeah, because we need to get a Gantt chart going. By that I mean you need to get a Gantt chart going just for our pipeline for how far out it is. Because we have 5 deals that you don't even think about the fact that we're going to build them in a year and a half, and so then you kind of just
we're not doing anything.
you get less excited. Yeah, but it's well, we're working on this stuff right now. You're just not doing it. It's like Mark's running it, or like I'm running it, or whatever.
Yeah, when we're out buying plexes and smaller projects and value add, we're running and gunning, and we got 5 deals under contract. Suddenly you're like, oh, we want to go build huge apartment complexes. Well, it just doesn't happen at quite the same speed.
So
Gantt charts.
The solution
important.
is get a Gantt chart. You get our pipeline built out for all the stuff that we actually want to buy, and then once that's done, you can buy one property a month that's under 20 units.
Well, I don't want to buy under 20.
Just to scratch the itch. You do, though.
Oh.
No, you do. Don't lie to yourself.
It's not for...
If an eightplex, it's not because you want to own it. It's because you want to buy it. Because you're an addict. Mm-hmm. And so you can just go find whatever eightplex you want. Dude, don't even try to tell me that if you ripped a duplex tomorrow, you'd be at the signing table just giddy. You'd be so he's sitting here. He knows he would. He doesn't even care about good deals. We bought some funky deals, and all of us were like, I don't know if we should do this one.
And this is why Paul Curley was buying duplexes 40 years into his career.
He's Paul. I'm Gabe. Yeah. You're Paul. I'm not Paul.
At one point, Trevor, you said this to me. You said, "What? I don't even know what you do. What do you do?" I scratch the deal junkie itch. That is, my life is designed to scratch that itch.
Scratch the itch of just closing duplexes?
You just got to do a lot of stuff.
Trevor's got that itch hard.
Yeah, you got to do a lot of different stuff. You can't... Riches are in the niches. I do not believe that that's a fallacy. Riches are in the niches.
I don't know.
You never heard that? Good, so it's like you specialize in one thing and you get really rich because you specialize in one thing. It's not a slur.
It's not a slur.
Don't say that fast.
to me, because being rich isn't about money. Being rich is about how happy you are, right? And I would never be able to specialize in something and think that I'm rich. So riches in the niches doesn't work. And what you're talking about is now you're doing bigger deals. You're only getting one drug, and you need to have a whole mixture of drugs.
Yeah.
He's Jones.
That's true.
Yes.
That's true.
I don't know. We talk about getting more focused and staying in a lane.
Yeah, I know we need to.
Developing a buy box. I think if you're going to be professional and thoughtful and objective about your business plan, that you have to get into the niches. But I think that to be a deal junkie, you may say my buy box is a little too small now. Like I need to expand it out a little bit when the bandwidth. We talked about this in a meeting last week where I said the only time you wouldn't want to do a small deal is if it took away from your bandwidth to miss out on a big deal. So if you have all the big deals going and then you suddenly see a value add or you see a smaller project or whatever, you're like, hey, we should buy that one too. It'd be easy. If it doesn't take away from the overarching, like we have to develop a business plan and say, this is where we're going. And we can't suddenly go out and buy 3 duplexes and forget that we need to go build a 100-unit apartment complex.
Can't charge.
But if we can build the 100-unit and on the side, we can pick up a few duplexes or whatever because we think that's great.
Dude,
who cares?
He'd be doing it from 6 to 10 p.m. anyways. It's not like he'd be doing it during work hours. He'd just be scrolling Redfin. He'd be like, I could totally flip that house probably. I've never flipped a house before, but
the problem is you get yourself into those deals and you don't recognize how much bandwidth they take.
That's what
it takes the same amount of time as doing a big deal.
No.
That's the whole thing. It's resource
flip would take you longer than our bigger deals.
I've bought deals recently that I shouldn't have bought. They're too small. They're too messy. There's too much brain damage. It was really easy to buy them and it scratched the itch.
Yeah.
And then after I owned it, I was like, I shouldn't have bought that.
That's how heroin works.
Like, I'll probably still make money. It'll probably still work out, but I'm dealing with the brain damage on small projects that I should not be dealing with because it does take up brain space.
I know we can't do that. But how do I patiently
Well, I think you should fish more. I like that you've been fishing lately. I think that's good for you.
Go read the Power of Now.
Learn how to cook, maybe.
I hate that. That's my least favorite activity in the whole world.
All right, new hobby.
That's why he eats the head off the fish when he catches it. He doesn't have to cook it.
Maybe go back to piano. Learn Spanish.
But how do you actually do that and like feel productive still now you're doing less deals? Because like beforehand it was all about volume. Like we were doing like 8 deals a month and helping other people do them, and then we're buying our deals and you got like 10 to 12 deals going at once, and
you've always been, this has been the difference between you and I forever, and we've talked about this before. Because Gabe and I are the same way. You've always been an input guy and Gabe and I are output guys.
Yeah, what's it give me?
Yeah, but you're like, but how does that translate? I have to make 100 calls a day, I think, and it's like I don't friggin' know how many calls you got to make. All I know is I want the output of I'm building 150 unit apartment complexes, buying value.
But I'm asking, what do you do in the meantime? Because now you got less of those, and
you just say, hey, we're doing the thing. You just be okay with the fact that you're doing the thing. And if it's not the thing that you actually want to be doing, then maybe you set the wrong goal. But if you know you're on track for
what is it you're feeling? Boredom, discomfort? Like what is it?
He's so used to spinning his wheels.
You guys are the
to try to gain traction that then once he actually has it,
it's boring.
It's like a toxic relationship.
Ooh.
You crave the feeling of like I need to be growing and growing and growing.
You got to find comfort in
even if you're still growing, you have to find comfort in the fact that like, okay, our buy box is right. We're doing all the right actions to get to the goal that we want, and it for whatever reason actually doesn't take me 8 hours or 12 hours a day anymore.
He wants to be doing the doing. That's where you guys are missing it.
He likes thinking about the doing too.
I think where Trevor's skill set and gifts lie is in building systems and building a team, and I think that rather than being focused on building a portfolio or just doing the next deal just so we can do another deal. It needs to be more focused on how do we build the systems and build the team so that these deals crank out. And if we want to do a higher volume of deals, we have to have the operations, we have to have the financing, we have to have the capital raise, we have to have all the things. But I think that's what you're good at, and I think you're good at it because you like it. And so you need to focus on building the business rather than the portfolio.
Because that's what I was doing when we were doing Vesta, and it was like easy and clear. But now it's like, what systems do you build around what we're doing? And that's what I've been working on with those SOP things. But then I'm like, I'm just making useless paperwork half the time with some of these.
Yeah, dude, you sent me a 34-page document and told me to review the whole thing, and I said, what is the goal outcome?
Mark said we need it. I told Mark, I don't want to make useless paperwork.
I think the difference, and I thought about that too after you sent me that, because I was like, well, this all is like correct. But the difference in what he's doing is that he's trying to, like, he's hiring people for a construction company where there's going to be new PMs all the time, new superintendents all the time. And so when you roll a new super in or roll a new PM in,
you put them in
how
the
do
system.
they do it? But like with us, the major difference is it's like there's kind of a lot of key man in what we have going.
All
it's
key
like,
man.
Yeah, I really hope that we don't lose any of the people that we currently have working for us or working with us, like, because we're all doing a thing that needs to get done. And even if I wrote out like an SOP, it's like a lot of our jobs are like solving problems all the time. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And no matter how much is written down, it's like there's still something new that I don't know what the issue is going to be.
Yeah, because I was thinking about building the system, like with what we were doing, is so you can plug the next person in, raise and elevate.
Yeah.
And like right now, some of that stuff is good. Like there's like basic bookkeeping and stuff like that. But a lot of it is like, oh no, this person is going to do this.
Yeah. That's the hard thing when you're like specific to, I would say, real estate. We kind of talked about this on the podcast yesterday or last week for everybody listening, but is that in the thing that we're doing, the people who win are the ones who are just genuinely best at it. Like the Chris Blackburns. Like Chris couldn't just like write down what he does and then be like, well, somebody else should probably think about how to build out 346 acres of a planned unit development in the, in between Salem and Turner. Like, because if I just write it all down, then I won't even have to work on it anymore. It's like, no, Chris is always going to be the guy who can do that. And no matter how much anybody else learns, he's still going to be the best at it. And so within like our company, hopefully, it's like the best person at the thing that they do is always going to have to do that thing, because no matter who they hire under them, like they're still the final say.
They're responsible for
and they
their
have to
channel.
know all of the information.
Yep.
Like there's no way to just like avoid learning all of the information about a deal. Like, yes, you can know enough to say no quickly, but that you can never like outsource saying yes to the deal, which is the important part. It's not outsourcing the no's. It's like, okay, we can kind of do that, but it's like you can never outsource the yes.
I will say also from a personal perspective in my businesses, I'm continually trying. We talked about this. We were in a board meeting this morning for a nonprofit. Shout out to Valor Mentoring. Dane and I were sitting there and we're talking about how you over time, you have to build your org chart out to where everybody is moving up, and eventually the people at the top will move themselves out of the org chart. And that's in my businesses. What I've done is I've continued to move up a level, but I've been almost addicted to the process of that and having this. I mean, it's stressful, and you're in the battle every single day. And then one day you get the machine built and now you're not in the battle one day and you're like, whoa, this is boring.
What do I do?
Like, what am I supposed to do?
What do I do with my hands?
So for me, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to challenge myself in all of our businesses to continually challenge myself to go to another level. And now I need to be thinking about how do we take this into the next era? And part of that is succession planning. Part of that is, okay, well, we've built the machine. Now, how do we grow? How do we go to the next level? And what are the next things that we can do better? And so, like in our property management company, we've decided we're going to modernize our maintenance division. We've done a great job modernizing the company over the last 5 years, but we need better systems and better technology and better stuff in our maintenance division. So that's the new target. And so now we have a new problem that needs to be solved. We never even had the luxury of thinking about that problem before we had all the other problems solved. And now that we have that, I have to go look for the new problem. And so now that's the new focus. But as we grow, I'm in the weeds less, and that can sometimes feel uncomfortable. I'm used to running like the rest of you guys, where I'm going from the minute I wake up to the time I go to bed. And then one afternoon, I've got 2 hours with no meetings, and I'm like, what am I supposed to do with my life?
Better find a hobby.
And that's mental conditioning, right? Like you've just been through that for so long that you're mentally conditioned for that.
I'm wired for battle.
Yeah.
And if I'm not in a battle, I'm like, well, what do I do now?
Better to be a warrior in a garden than
Get the thinking chair out. You got to sit in the thinking chair for 2 hours a day.
I love that line.
That's a good one.
Go ahead. If you look backwards from where you're at now, Gabe, to where you thought you would be, are you farther ahead or behind where you thought you'd be?
I don't know that I had the vision, honestly. I mean, I've been scrapping from the very beginning, It's like I had to grow up when I had my first kid at 17 years old, and it's like I got to go figure out a way to make it, and I've just been trying to make it ever since. And so, like, I don't know that I ever had the time to sit and go, like, what is my future life going to be like? Like, my life today is better than I probably ever imagined it would be. But I'm still only 50 years old, and I feel like I got a lot of time left and I should do something. And so I'm not ready to sail off into the sunset. I want to keep going. I'm like a Paul Curley to that. It's like I don't get excited about retirement. I don't get excited about fishing. I don't get excited about golfing. Like, I'm just not wired that way. Like, I want to build businesses and build a portfolio and build buildings and do all this cool stuff. Like, I think that's a lot more fun. But what happens is you get to a point where you're like, okay, well, I have more than I ever thought I would have. Now what? Like, I mean, I'm content. Like, I don't feel like I'm missing anything in life. I don't feel like I'm lacking anything. But I also feel like I've got a lot of energy and a lot more to give the world. And so where do I go from here? Like, it's not about me.
Mixed use in downtown Salem.
Well, it's like, to Mike's point, it's now, instead of thinking about me, maybe I'm thinking about my community. Maybe I'm thinking about helping a nonprofit. Maybe I'm thinking about giving back. Maybe I'm thinking about building out a team, being able to hire more employees, being able to do more. And that's still exciting. But I think that there's complacency comes with, when we talk about these building owners who have built a portfolio and they have it for 20 years, they're living a lifestyle that maybe they didn't even dream they would have one day, right? But then they're like, they don't have the fire to take it to that next level. And so when do you pass a baton? Just last week, I brought on a partner in our brokerage, and I made him the CEO. Chris Salas, we'll probably have him on the podcast. Very intelligent.
Hell yeah.
Chris is.
Hell yeah.
So Chris runs the brokerage.
Yeah.
This was to Trevor's. I'm going to give Trevor some kudos. Trevor said, hey, I think you should pass the baton. He was right. Like, I should not be the CEO of the brokerage. As much as I love talking to brokers all day and looking at their deals and being involved in the pipeline, I have too many things going on to be an effective leader in that. I can still help Chris run the company, but I need to have somebody that's all they do all day long is think about the brokerage. And so I pass a baton. I gave up part of my company. I let him buy in as a partner. He's going to run that company. That, for me, has re-energized me for the brokerage, because I was getting to the point where it's like, I don't want to bring on another broker. That's just another phone call I got to take. You know what I mean? When it gets to that point where it's like, I'm not excited about taking this to the next level, it's time for me to pass the baton. And so I pass the baton. He's super excited about it. He's got energy. He's got a new lens, and he can say, like, okay, let's take it to the next level.
Is he trying to get your more brokers or get your current brokers more leads to make more money?
It's his choice. He's the CEO.
Yeah.
Trevor,
Yeah, I asked him.
Trevor, how do you solve your problem?
My problem?
Yeah.
Of the deal thing?
Yeah.
I think I need to get more involved with the deals on your end, maybe. And that'd be helpful to you. And then
What's my end?
going through the development side of things.
That's right. Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know, though.
Well, you talked about,
You want to cross the lane?
Trevor, you've talked a lot about, like, we tried to we've been trying to work on your ability to pass things, to delegate, and to grow a system and to grow a team. And then you talked about like, well, I did it too well, and then I'm sitting there going like, well, what do I do? Because now I have somebody.
I
else
didn't
to
do it that
There's
well.
a difference in too well and too much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't do it that well.
To clarify,
I did it a lot.
you
So
did
you
do
still
it a lot.
So you have to grow as a leader, and you have to understand that there's a certain level of, as the CEO of Stack, your job is, I mean, anything that happens, good or bad, ultimately lands on your plate. Like our future success or failure is up to you. You're our leader. And so your job all day long is to think about Stack, whether that's building out the org chart or it's building out the portfolio or which lane we need to be in or if we need to do, I mean, we're all going to help you make those decisions because you have a team to do that. But ultimately it all falls on you. So to have a CEO in a company, in all the companies that I have, I don't call myself CEO. I'm the president of these organizations, and there's a CEO in every single company that their job is to think about that company 24/7. That's the job. My job is to come in and help you, each one of you, in ideas on how to have a vision of where that company needs to go. Your job is to take all of these key players that are on the team and make sure that each one of them is empowered to do the role that they've been put in, and they have the authority to go put people on their team to help them run their channel. And it just goes down and down and down. Like if you don't have that structure, you micromanage, there's no organization. You can't pick up any sort of momentum when you micromanage to where it's like, I'm in charge of every single thing that happens. Well, yeah, you're ultimately responsible for everything that happens, but it starts with who are the leaders of each department head and what are they responsible for, and then helping them to delegate and hire and train and do all the things they need to do to run their channel.
Dude, I love that. Delegation, I think people just put in a box of delegation is delegating tasks. But when you get to the point where you're delegating authority, world is a different place of who you become as a leader.
And you can't scale without it.
There's one level of delegation if all you're focusing is on tasks. But if you're focusing on building up people and then delegating authority, that changes the culture 100% and it puts you on an elevator.
We talked about this a lot, and Trevor owned up to it and is very aware of it now. I think he already was aware of it, but like the over delegating piece, and it's not a bad thing. Like we told you to do it. That was your whole job, was like, okay, I do all this stuff right now. I shouldn't be doing it. Let's delegate so that I can think more about how to grow the company. And I think we realized like together, because we were just sitting at home, and it was like, well, why isn't the thing happening that's supposed to be happening? It was like, delegating is good when you're delegating to a person who's equal or more qualified to do the job that you want them to do. Yeah. And delegating to somebody who can do like 60% or less, like maybe even 80% or less. I don't know what the threshold is. It feels like they should be able to do 100% or more. Like, and if they're under 100%, then it actually just ends up like being more work for you, and it doesn't get done.
This is why people don't want to delegate. And you'll find this with leaders often, in the mistake that they make is that they don't have the trust because they feel like, well, if I want the job done right, I got to do it myself. And so you're like, okay, you got to be able to hire the right person, train the right person, make sure they have all the tools to be successful. And the first thing I look at when somebody is not successful in their job, I don't look at them and say, you suck, you didn't do the job. I look at me and I say, what did I do? Where did I fail? Where either I brought the wrong person in or I gave them the wrong tools to do the job. One of my biggest pet peeves, and I love my dad, and God rest his soul. I spent 20 years in the car business with him, and he always wanted to give me the responsibility, but never the authority. And you can't put somebody in that box because it's a horrible place to be. It's a prison sentence to have to be responsible to do something you have no authority over. If you're going to give somebody the responsibility, you better make sure you pair that with the proper level of authority to do their job. Or if you haven't, you probably either picked the wrong person or you didn't give them the right tools to do that job. And that's why you don't feel like you want to give them the authority. But I think every leader has to continually, we all need to work on ourselves, but as a leader, you want to make sure that you're always giving giving everybody the tools they need to be successful. They need to be excited about what they're doing. Mm-hmm. They need to know that they have the authority and the responsibility to go out and hire and train and build the systems needed to make the company grow. You can't run a company the size of, like, talk about the SMI family of companies. With all the companies combined, we have almost 200 people. There are people on the team I don't even know. We probably hired 3 people yesterday. I don't even know that they hired 3 people. If I were micromanaging and I had to be responsible for, like, everybody you bring in, I want to interview them before they come, we couldn't do it. There's just no way to, so it's just out of necessity. Our company is big enough to where I can't micromanage. But when you think about a small team like Stack and where it's going, you look at that and you go, like, I'm not going to be able to have control over everything. I do have control over who we put on the team. I do have control over how we instill the vision and make sure they're excited about what they're doing. I do have the control over giving them the tools to be successful. And I need to be able to come back and I need to inspect what I expect is the saying. I need to be able to make sure that they're hitting the metrics that we want them to be hitting, and then helping them when they don't hit them. How do we get there? What can I do to help empower you and give you the tools to be able to hit the metrics that we want you to hit?
Yeah, I think that's huge, and something people kind of, I don't know, it's so easy to miss, and it's so easy to major in the minors. And when you delegate those tasks to the piece of, like, giving the responsibility but not the authority, when you come back and you're reviewing how the thing was done, you don't get to change things based on what's subjective to you. Like, and by that I mean, when you go back and you look at the way that they did something and you would have done it differently, if it doesn't affect the outcome, do not tell them to change it. Because that is the thing that's going to drive somebody insane, is when they think they have authority, they think they have the responsibility and authority to take over this part of the job, and then you come in and you're like, well, I'd actually like it if it was done that way. And it's like, well, I'd actually like it if it got done, and this is how it gets done for me. And the thing that's going to drive people up a wall is when you come in and you try to fix their process that works for them. Right, because of the way that it's like, okay, you have to come in and say, okay, what's the output I'm looking for? And if you're not hitting it, then how can I help you hit it? And then maybe you have to look at the process. But if you've given them the authority for it and they're just doing it in some way that doesn't make sense to you, but they're getting the output, don't go in and be like, oh, it would be more efficient if you did. It's like, who cares?
Well, you're a prime example of that. We had a really important meeting a couple months ago, and it was like, Dane, how do we figure out how to track what you're doing, and how many calls did you make, or how many hours did you spend, and all the we went through all this stuff, and then we had this deep dive on what is actually the output we're looking for. And we're like, Dane, how can you spend X amount of hours a week hanging out with people and getting people excited about what we're doing so they can come along with us into projects? And you're like, I would
do that
idea.
all day long.
Like you went from, like, oh my God, I got to go sit at my desk and make X amount of calls and X amount of emails to, like, you were
I could do
fired
that
up
all day long.
And now suddenly we took your talents, we paired that with what you actually want to do to get the output that you're looking for, and now you're jazzed.
Because we had the wrong scorecard metric.
Really, you're doing the same exact job, but you're looking at it from a different angle, and you're like, hell yeah, I can do that.
Because I got to pick the process in which I would get the outcome. Yeah. That's funny. That's probably why I brought that up. I didn't even realize that was probably why I brought that up.
You just had to get this love of your life out.
No, I didn't know, because it was actually.
Didn't even know it was in there.
I was so stoked during that meeting. Do you remember? I was just like, I was glittering, dude.
You're like, I got the best job ever.
Yeah, I was like, wait,
this is the job I want to do.
Exact same job, but it was like, just figure out how to, like, spend 20 hours a week. Half your time at least should be spent just hanging out with people, I think. And it was like no pressure at all. Like, there's no longer, like, you need to be making this number of phone calls, and, like, you got to pitch at least this number of people and raise this number of dollars. And it's like, when the goal stops being raised dollars, like, it's not transactional anymore. It's like, I can do that all day long. I can make, and then every single time that you start relationship we've had like 5 people be like, hey, I'd love to give you money in the last, like, 2 months.
It becomes
and it's,
easy.
you're just a magnet for it because it's like, well, they know what you're doing. They like hanging out with you. They trust you because you talked about what you did. But never once did I pitch anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Never once did I tell anybody like, oh, we're still doing XYZ. We're still, and it's like we had already raised like what we needed to raise for the deals we have, and then we've got deals coming. That's like, we're working on the raises for. But it went from like this, you're in crunch time to like you can just have fun. And that's what everybody else wants because the fun is magnetizing. Like that's why Gabe's so magnetizing because everybody Gabe will sit down with anybody and they leave the meeting and it's like, I want to figure out how I can bring value to Gabe because I want to spend more time around Gabe. I enjoyed that 4-hour lunch. It's like, what is it? You didn't have anything on your calendar?
I never stopped talking.
You better not have had anything on your calendar. You're going to lunch with Gabe.
So my job now is to help Trevor get jazzed about what he does. So what Trevor and Dane are two very different personality types, if you guys haven't picked up on that.
No.
So what gets you jazzed other than spreadsheets and talking to Claude all day long?
Doing deals.
How do you define doing deals?
I want to have the deal that we're working on getting closed, get it closed, make it run right.
No, you just like the
I
closing
get it
part.
closed, but I like the idea.
Why do you like closing? That's like the worst part of the deal.
I like
set an appointment.
I've liked the problems we've had where
Send
it's
money.
Yeah, sign docs.
Yeah, I've liked the problems we've had where we've ran into deals and it's like, okay, team, how do we figure this out? And then it's like, okay, we can implement this, and this.
So you like to solve problems.
Yeah, but I like getting.
So we just need to bring you more problems.
That's why I got him that hat.
Yeah.
I got him that good old hat. That's the funniest hat I've ever met. Or do you have it?
What's that?
Wear it.
On his hat, it says "Solve 'em Probler." I don't know why it's so funny to me. I died. I was like,
that's
I want
Trevor
that
in a
hat.
nutshell.
So Trevor.
I want that hat.
He's
That's
a
so
"Solve 'em
amazing.
Probler."
You just should do some coaching.
He did ask if he should consult people earlier this week, and I told him definitely not. But
That way you're not taking resources from Stack and what it's trying to
I'll
accomplish.
become a high school
That's
basketball.
true.
You need to
do
live
love that.
vicariously through
Why
other
not?
people.
Why not consult people who want to get into a deal?
Yeah.
And
That's what we were doing.
You're going to help them get into a deal, but rather than just get into their deal, you're going to help them get into our deals.
Yeah.
Couldn't you help them solve that problem?
you should do that.
Yeah.
That would help me a lot, immensely. That would help you actually as
Do
well.
the exact same thing you've always been doing, but it's just from a different angle.
your
'cause
favorite thing.
Yeah, talking to people about why they should invest in real estate.
His favorite thing is to prove to somebody why they should buy real estate.
If I'm sitting here and I'm like, I want to get into real estate and I don't know how, and
Yeah.
I've got 100,000, 50,000, 200,000, whatever the number is,
Yeah.
and I want to move that money into real estate, the first person I would call would be Trevor.
Yeah.
And I go, what do I do with this money?
Yeah.
And he go like, oh, I go like, well, here's 5 deals, and you go, don't do those.
Don't do
I got a
these. You
different
should go
one.
live in a fourplex in Gresham. And then if they're like, they don't want to live in a fourplex in Gresham, then he's like, you should probably put it in our deal.
resource counseling.
what I've really liked is like as we've been doing these deals with sellers who don't want to pay tax and need a different solution, it's like, oh, you can do X, Y, and Z. You can invest it in this that we're doing. This will save you this bill. It gets you this much cash out, and it's like 2 birds.
Yeah, you've come up with a new idea that I don't even fully understand, where it's like we go into a deal with somebody and we buy the deal from them, but they stay in the deal with us, but the money they get out of it, they 1031 into another deal with us. Like really what you're doing is you're counseling somebody on like, you want to get out of certain parts of real estate, but you actually want to stay into real estate and enjoy the things you still like about real estate. Let's show you.
And you get to do a new deal.
And you get to do another deal.
Yeah.
So you can be a deal junkie with us and we'll help you. We'll come in and we'll buy half of your deal and we'll take your half and we'll go put in another deal. Now you own 2 deals instead of 1 and you don't have to run those deals. You don't have to deal with the financing. You don't have to deal with operations. You don't have to deal with management. You don't have to deal with any of it. Like now you get 2 buildings instead of 1 and you get to do none of the things that you don't want to do and all the things you do want to do, which is mostly collect a check and make a bunch of equity. Like, I don't know. It sounds like a great plan to me.
We should call it the Howard Exchange.
Is anybody doing this thing that you've come up with?
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Where they're partnering with somebody and then taking their money and putting in another deal?
Yeah.
It's kind of just like a natural, like we wouldn't have realized it if we hadn't thought about, like if we didn't know
I
what
just listen to
self-help was.
podcasts.
And then you do go from self-help to LBO and then you go from LBO to the Howard Exchange.
Yeah, I just listen to podcasts and people talk about it all the time, like how they're trading deals and trading equities in different ways. And then it's more so just like this dude has a problem. Here's the solution to your problem.
So you're still solving problems.
He's still a solve 'em probler.
That's what you like to do. That's what you've told us is what is fun for you, is solving problems.
Yeah.
For other people who want to be in real estate. So we just need to do more of that.
Yeah.
So if you're listening and you have a real estate problem, call Trevor. He would like to solve it for you.
See, and that's what we were doing.
Are you happy now?
That's what we were doing, though, that we stopped doing.
But you can do it at a much higher level because you're not brokering anymore. That's the key piece, is that the brokering was the
So are you saying we're doing it for deals where we only transact with them, or you're just doing it and
no, you could just advise
you find
for
the
fun.
deals through that?
Either way. I mean, if it makes sense for them to come with us, come with us. If it doesn't, tell them to go do something else. Hook them up with somebody that can go put
That's
them in
what
another deal.
me and Ryan went to a deal, like consultation with a dude or something we were trying to buy. It was like a $10 million thing. And I was like, we can pay 8.5. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't take this if I were you, because I think you can get 9.5 on the market or whatever. Mm-hmm. And he's like, I think I want to take 8.5. I was like, no, like you should not do this. Like I would do this, yes, me personally, in my situation, but you should not.
So I think to the point of what like you're talking about, where you're trying to think through like, well, what's the goal outcome of it? It's like, who knows? Like, what's the goal outcome of me meeting with people for 20 hours? And 10 of those hours are supposed to just be new relationships. People I've never met with. 10 of those hours are supposed to be people that we already like know really well and, you know, have invested with us typically. And it's just me hanging out with them. It's not, there's no goal. Like I just sit down at lunch or whatever, go to some event. And so in my mind, that's my favorite thing to do, is just hang out with people who have similar interests to me, right? Or that are good at conversations. And your favorite thing is to tell people why and how they should buy real estate. And so the goal outcome is to tell people why they should buy real estate and how they can do it. The goal outcome is not, well,
but that's exactly what we were doing.
Are they going to, no, it's not. It's close, but it's not exactly what we were doing, because you had a different goal outcome. Your goal outcome in that scenario is that we were going to broker them a fourplex. But your goal outcome in this scenario is that you tell people why and how they should buy real estate. So if it's like, oh, I have too much free time on my hands, it's like, okay, meet with more people. Just meet with people and tell them why and how they should buy those two things. Because you know better than them. And then it's like, what's the goal outcome? It's like, who knows, but a lot's going to come from it. Like the more that's what Gabe does. I mean, Gabe just meets with people and he really just tells them that they should for sure buy real estate and how he did it. And then it was his calling, and it's his favorite thing to do in the world now. And you kind of do that, but you're less intense about it. You're kind of just telling them why it will get them to retirement. You come at it from like the fire lens. He comes at it from like it's a calling lens. But doesn't that make sense to you? Like your problem is that you're looking for the like, oh, what is the purpose of this relationship that I'm creating? And it's like, it's just that you're going to give away and something will come from it if you have too much time. If you don't have too much time, then do whatever you're doing right now.
Add value.
It will come back.
You just help people.
You forgot the Hormozy principle.
That's
dude.
The most fun you'll ever have, is helping people. That's why everybody asks me, they want to go to coffee. You guys get on me all the time that I waste too much time because I'll go spend 2
No,
or 3
you got
hours
on yourself. You said you needed to stop
Just
doing it.
Trevor
Go
does.
make a social media post. Say, I'm looking for 6 people to give free consulting to.
Oh, let's run an ad. Let's run an ad for Trevor. Trevor helps people buy.
Oh, me and Ryan went to an event, and this kid was there, and we talked on a Zoom call. He's like, I really love what you guys are doing. You're helping so many people. I didn't tell him we stopped doing that portion of it.
Yeah.
I was like, oh.
We still help lots of people.
I mean, we do the same thing for free.
Yeah.
You know, when people ask, but we're not like doing the outreach of getting the
You're not
people in.
marketing a bundle and
no, it's just random people that come across whatever.
That's why 6 free consultations will fill your calendar.
Well, you don't even have to run it on social media because it's right here on a podcast.
That's true.
And all our listeners are listening. If you listen to Deal Junkies every week, reach out. Trevor wants to solve your problem. There you go. It's an open invitation.
This poor guy, just help him. Just call him and tell him your problem.
If you call me, it's going to be a 2-hour meeting. If you call Trevor, you can probably get it done in like 30 minutes.
He'll clock you out.
Yeah. Oh, you mean like if he's actually doing the consultation?
Yeah.
I thought if you just call Trevor randomly, he's going to find a way to get off the phone in 30 seconds. Actually, I'm headed into a meeting right now. It's 5:42. What meeting are you headed into? It's super busy. I have a 5:43 appointment.
Got a date with a 16-inch trout.
Gotta go. Super busy. right.
Are you happier now, Trevor?
Well,
Oh,
right now in this
still
moment, I
don't-
haven't done anything. So.
Still don't know what to
Well,
do.
we're trying to solve a problem for you. That's why you're not happy. We're happy though, because we just solved your problem.
I love being a solvent problem.
Dude, I want that hat.
Dude, I'll buy you one.
Please,
I
dude.
almost bought like 5.
I want that more than a Deal
There's a
Junkie
bunch of
shirt.
different
I still haven't
colors.
got a Deal Junkie shirt.
You don't have a deal junkie?
No. we have one for you.
No. That's
Gabe-
what he
Gabe
always
made you
tells
one.
me.
Yeah.
He keeps telling me he got one for me.
We need some more swag.
I don't have one either.
Oh my gosh.
I have a Corbin.
Are we even a real podcast and we
No.
don't have
Corbin
swag?
shirt
No.
though?
Not at all.
All
Although
right,
we
guys.
got new followers today from US Bank. I talked to him.
Really?
Yeah. They're like, we love podcasts. I was like, well, then you need to listen to ours because it's the best real estate podcast out.
I've heard that.
Or so I hear. Don't take it from me. Take it from me and all the people that listen.
All right, Trevor, your wheels are turning. I can see it. It's like
He's just angsty. It's a phase.
angsty.
He's just going through a teenage angst
that's
phase.
it. Yeah. Yep.
You know?
Yep. That's what happens. This is what happens when you evolve.
That's growth.
It's growth. Yeah. You got to plateau. It's okay to plateau, baby. Just enjoy the plateau. Read a book.
You never grow when you're comfortable.
It's true. My dad would call it having
You know
your panties
what?
in a wad.
You suck. You need to run 110 miles. There you go.
Yeah, when's
There's
the
the
last time you
problem.
ran 100 miles, dude?
It's been too long.
What have you done for me lately?
Yeah.
That's what my football coach always used to say. It really hurt on like Saturday morning after a game. It was like, what is that even? I mean, like we
Well,
won.
I mean, like 4 touchdowns last night. Was that enough? I mean, how long does
it
that
was
last?
never
Till
enough.
Tuesday?
It was never enough. Till Sunday.
What have you done for me
Wait,
today?
did I hear a rumor that you had like a high school touchdown
Stop.
record?
Stop.
Is this
He
true?
was the best high school football player in the state, he says.
Also, I did not say that. You're the one who says
And then
that
he said he
every
met a guy.
time.
He met a guy who said he was the best, and he corrected and said, "No, I am the best."
That is
He had the
not-
most touchdowns, he
Trevor,
says.
Trevor embellishes stories to the max.
Listen to
He
Mike.
never
Don't listen to
remembers
Trevor's
it.
stories.
Oh, somebody will be like, I've got like 30K I'm wanting to put in a deal, and Trevor will text me and be like, some guy said he has $3 million that he wants to invest with us. And then I call him and I'm talking to him, and they're like, I mean, I've been working as like a consultant for like 2 years out of college.
That's
and
embellishing a
Have like
story right here.
$30,000. I'm like, how, Trevor? What is that even? He's like, I'm pretty sure he said 3 million. Like, I don't know. Maybe that was a different guy. I don't know.
He wanted to get you excited.
Oh, he had 3 million in debt. That's what it was. I just mixed them up. Yeah. All right.
All right, rein it in.
Enough
We're going to wrap
finance.
it up?
Yeah.
All right, Deal Junkies. Hey, thanks for listening. I don't know if we provided any value here, but we had fun. Please share us with someone you love, and we'll see you next time.